Good morning, Dr. Darkstar.
Good morning, B team. How are you?
Oh, the B team is in good shape today. Never
Perfect.
the A team, always the B team. And that's okay. We're comfortable in that position. Today is Friday, Freitag, July 22nd, 2022. And you and I were chatting, and we wanted to carry on the conversation that we had about this growing the game that we barely ever hear from the PGA Tour and LIV Golf. But that was an interesting conversation, so we decided that, hey, you know what? We should throw in our own ideas. Let's not leave it hanging there that we've speculated about. So we're going to do that today. So we're going to have another grow the game conversation, but our take on it, because we're willing to step into the ring and offer up some ideas, maybe get some praise, maybe get some criticism. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Darkstar, because I know you had a couple of things you wanted to start with.
Yes, thank you. So, really, the one thing I want to start with is a couple mistakes that I always see. I had just hinted the other day about exciting your base, growing your base in any model seems to help grow what you're looking to grow. The Golf Channel tried to take a page out of ESPN's book, and ESPN's ratings have just plummeted. And the Golf Channel brought on a couple personalities. Anthony Anderson had a show, basically Golf in America, and there was a show called Being Graham McDowell. Now, those are two great personalities. Anthony Anderson's an accomplished actor. He's got a hit sitcom. He was in Departed. And, of course, Graham McDowell was always, and this was a few years ago, always somebody who was thought of as a golf personality. And their shows just failed miserably. And my point is they didn't touch their base. You're not going to get new people if people who are golfers don't say to their friends, hey, these are some great shows on the Golf Channel. I didn't watch them.
Like Faraday, for example.
Exactly. Faraday's a personality who relates to the golfer, and then you bring on, I brought friends to his concert in Naples, Florida.
Yeah, the Faraday
That's going
show
to grow
is
the
what
game. The Faraday show, of course. Yeah. So there's that aspect, and I think the one thing that I see as a potential for golf, Golf Channel had the show that was sponsored by Top Golf when they started to build all the Top Golfs, and I see the Top Golf as taking the place of bowling. And for a couple reasons. One, you can show up with no clubs. It's social. Anybody can do it. And bowling was the most popular sport in this country for many, many years. And I know you wanted to comment on some ways to grow in that regard. So take it away.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the analogy to bowling. Bowling, I've been bowling, sure, but it's not part of my routine. But it seems to me, I'd like your reaction. It's a great mixed sport, right? Husbands and wives, boyfriends, girlfriends, and you can have adult beverages all mixed together, no problem. The women don't feel, that they're outclassed physically, I think. So it's not like a men's softball game where you really can't mix it up, or you could, but it's not the same. But is that why bowling, you think, was so successful back, 60, 70 years?
Sure, and I think one of the
Because
things
it's built for couples, I guess, is an easier way to say it.
It's built for couples and it's built for teams. One of the things that you and I love about golf is, we team up, or we throw balls at the beginning of a round, you team up, you have a partner, and it's you against them. And, at the end of the day, in golf, you have a beer and relax and enjoy it. And bowling was the quintessential sport. And, of course, the other thing about bowling, when the population was mostly concentrated in the north before air conditioning, which will be a separate Thinking Man show, you could play it year-round. So, and especially in the winter. You went in a nice bowling alley and you had a beer, and you had 4 guys on one team, 4 guys on the other, or men.
Well, it was a winter
mixed.
sport. It was a winter sport before air conditioning.
Correct. So,
and in the summer, you probably played golf.
Yep.
It'd be interesting to ask some folks who were adults in the 30s or 40s, if there are any still alive. There are. Yeah, that's very interesting. I don't know about the beer after the round of golf. It depends on my round of golf. It might mean scotch. I might something a little heavier, depending on the way I feel about the performance. But I hear you. Yeah, that's a great analogy. We'll have to maybe expand on that. Not today, probably, but so growing the game to us, I think we put the definition on the other day. If you haven't seen that episode, watch that. But today's context is grow the game, meaning increase the number of people who play recreational golf. So maybe the Thinking Man Show could spur the LIV and the PGA Tour to stop saying grow the game and make it a four-word phrase. Grow the pro game or grow the recreational game. Then we all know what we're talking about, and wouldn't that be nice? Nobody likes to be lied to. So we're talking about growing the recreational game, which is hard to do. Hard to do with the current demographic in Western civilization. Maybe it's a little easier in Asia, but they have different problems. They have different challenges with real estate and adaptability. It's not a sport that's been around a long time. Other challenges there. But so some ideas that we kicked around, or I kicked around, kind of picking up on that Top Golf.
That was your point
that you made. Yeah. Well, it was, yeah. But I like, and I'm interested in your opinion because I think there's a golden opportunity here for the tours and for corporate America, corporate Europe and America, to link fitness and weight loss to golf. And today, there's not a very strong link at all. Really, maybe no link. You could just say there's no link. But to me, fitness is a big industry all by itself. Weight loss is a big industry all by itself. And, pre-diabetes and diabetes is a massive problem in this country and in Western civilization. You would agree as a medical doctor?
Absolutely.
Yeah, maybe the biggest single challenge to the medical community is people are diabetic like crazy and pre-diabetic. Anabolic health is awful. Another show for another day. But that's also a big topic. Part of the dietary movement is low carb, not low carb, vegetables, not vegetables, all meat, not all meat. Big industry. So why doesn't golf get into that? And the slogan that I sort of jotted down here, with a pencil, was there's no better way to walk. Did I say it that right? There's no better way to walk. Okay, go walk a golf course for 18 holes is about 5 miles, I think. And it's not rigorous, but it is an extended low intensity workout, essentially, which is exactly what you want for weight loss. And if you're already fit, then you can walk faster. You can play in a fitness group. Go ahead.
Well, so especially in our, population that is getting older, when we were younger, walking was not exercise. Well, if you're 50, 60 years old and you're a little bit overweight, certainly walking is a great exercise. Burning those extra calories. The worst thing that ever happened, and unfortunately we're digressing to another show, but the worst thing that ever happened is low-fat food because they replaced the fat with sugar, and sugar is what makes you fat.
Yeah. And bad fats. Well, right. And I think that's exactly right. But, of course, this is grow recreational golf. So the whole idea is to get 20, 30, and 40-year-olds involved.
Right.
And so these are the people that are going to the gyms. These are the people that are having children and are squished on time. And that might be a particular challenge. So how to overcome that. And that's where I like that Top Golf, who is not a sponsor of this show. But if you want to call and write us a check, we'll take the check. But that's where the bowling Top Golf thing can work because it's quicker. It takes a while, obviously, to walk 18 holes of golf. But what's funny, and I don't have any data, and I love data, so I will get data and I will bring it to the show on this topic. If you viewers like this topic, I'll get data, which is what age demographic in America? Let's just pick on America. Exercises more as a demographic. I bet that's not as obvious. My suspicion is that it's not 20-year-olds, or it's not, let's just take it out of college. Once you leave college or college age, you probably are sitting around a lot versus a 45-year-old or 50-year-old after children who's very interested in exercising and has the time to do it. They're not out, trying to couple up, for example. It would be interesting to me to see that. I bet there'd be some surprises as to which group exercises the most, even if it's just walking, after work or something. But to get people out on the golf course, there's no better way to walk. Reduce the game, change the game somewhat in that exercise. So it's a dedicated thing. It's not just, we'll go play golf, we'll walk instead of riding in a golf cart. No, take 3 clubs. So you don't have to carry the stupid bag. Take 3 clubs, take 3 balls, like tennis, and go walk. And then, whatever 3 clubs you want. It's a driver, it's a putter, it's a 7-iron, fine. Everybody has the same clubs, fine. And your group, pick any 3 clubs you want, but it's 3 clubs. If Dr. Darkstar wants to carry 2 wedges and a 3-iron, great. You could probably putt with that 3-iron better than most people.
And to put a point on this too is, I feel that one of the things that really grew the game back in the 80s and 90s was the unlimited range plan. When I was young, we didn't play golf because we couldn't practice. So as you could practice, boom, now all of a sudden you grew a lot of players. I think the exercise aspect, especially for people who need to get back into exercising, it's an easy exercise, and they could have potentially some night, like you said, particular games with 3 clubs, things like that. Make it more fun, make it more interesting.
More accessible, right? More accessible to more people.
More access.
Exactly. I agree with you 100%. And in the low intensity part, that's also another show with you, Dr. Darkstar, as a physician, because if you're trying to lose weight, and if you're already overweight, you're not going to want to exercise vigorously, and it's probably not a good idea to do that anyway. From a cardiac point of view. But low intensity is where fat burning occurs. High intensity exercise is all about glucose, and you don't want that. You want low, gentle, long term, like exercise easily for an hour versus intensely for 5 minutes. The hour is much better at low intensity. Another point I want to make, and we're going to quickly wrap up this episode, even though it takes us a while to wrap up an episode, because we are running out of shoot time today, is the role that the golf organizations and the tours play in this no better way to walk, link golf to fitness and weight loss, 2 massive industries, as we mentioned, is for LIV particularly. I just see it easier for LIV because they're just starting out and they're still establishing what it's like to go to a LIV tournament. But how easy and how great it would be, if this is a good idea, to have a walking event before the tournament. So on Wednesday or Tuesday, whatever, you have this fitness walk, weight loss thing at the tournament site and turn it into a massive party. And you could take that in any different direction. If that succeeded, and I can't imagine why it wouldn't, maybe wildly, maybe mildly, but it would succeed. I think that's something they could do. They could put that out as, hey, this is another way that LIV golf is growing recreational golf. We wanted 3 clubs, come out, have a ball. We're going to do this before the thing. Then we're going to play the 3 club thing. Everybody's going to walk. Then we're going to break it into fitness similarity groups. Here's the overweight groups. Here's the fit groups, whatever. Then afterwards, we're all going to have a party. And then you guys come to the tournament tomorrow, the next day. Maybe you get a discount to the tournament because you participated in this. And we have music. We got the whole thing. It's a great party. If that works, it's part of their branding across the board. Corporate sponsors, all the folks that would be interested in that kind of program, PGA Tour would have to copy it.
Let me interrupt then. So the LIV does have, they did have some concerts afterwards, and I'm going to throw this right back into my last point, because what you have on Wednesdays are pro-ams where the PGA Tour was gaining a lot of money. It was $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 to get into these pro-ams, okay? And my last point, and I don't have an answer to this, how do we bring the expense of the game down? I went to my Golf Galaxy, I went online, the new Stealth driver is $600. The new Callaway driver is $550. That's just for one club that everybody wants to have, and everybody wants to change it every so often when they're not hitting good drives. So that is that's my last point, and I don't have an answer to that. How do we bring the price down? Because it's a free market.
It's a free market, and so people are willing to pay that. Yeah, it'd be interesting to get somebody from TaylorMade on the show, and maybe we'll do that and have a conversation about pricing, because they're sensitive to how it's working. Last point on my part is USGA, PGA of America, R&A, obviously very important entities to LIV Golf, given the official world golf ranking element of this thing. But I can't imagine the PGA of America, the USGA, and the R&A not being wholehearted supporters of there's no better way to walk than golf, because those organizations exist to increase the number of recreational players. So if this is going to work, maybe it works great, maybe it works just sorta somewhere between. Fine, it's fine. There's lots of ways to do it, but so now LIV, particularly LIV, and this is not a show supporting LIV particularly. It's just that's the way this is shaping up through logical conclusions. LIV needs to gain friends at that table. Doesn't hurt them at all. I can see Augusta National, which is a major influencer in the game, also supporting the heck out of this no better way to walk, right? With 3 clubs and a cloud of dust. So it seems to me that there's nobody in the golfing world that wouldn't love this idea, potentially. Closing thoughts?
Well, I like the idea. I like the idea of sort of changing up the game, especially in that after-hours market. After work, you come out for an hour or two and you have something different. I like that. Changing it up, getting couples involved, getting kids involved.
But for today, I think we're going to be out. It's time to roll. So I will sign off, and we will see our audience soon. And Dark Star, I will see and speak to you soon.
Great. All right, Dark Star is out.
Great. Fantastic. I will talk to you soon. That's all for this video. For Dr. Darkstar and me, thanks for watching. This is a show about finding logical conclusions, and we appreciate you coming along with us. We'll be adding episodes as fast as we can. There's certainly no shortage of things going on in this world.